Hi folks, welcome to the Art Lounge. We are in fall and we are in New England. Um, I would love to hear where you guys are at. In my walk today, I couldn't help but think about all those awesome leaves and colors and sky and sunshine. So I am just going to take my HB pencil to some blank watercolor paper. And because it's in Inktober, which we'll have more on ink projects and Inktober in general, I think like any creative soul, if you say it's Inktober, I instantly look at everything that's not ink. So I think I just need to get a little bit of mixed media out of the way before I can fully commit to doing a little bit of ink every day. So today I grabbed my Graphitin pencils. These just scream, if you can see like the ends of the pencils, these just scream fall, really fally, earthy colors. And for anyone who has not tried and looking for something creative to dive into, Caran d'Ache, you do not need this big box. This was a gift from somebody who just knows I love art. They come in all variety of sizes for every kind of budget. They look like crayons, just like we always used as kids. And let me just tell you, they are a watercolor dream. Sorry about that. And we're going to get into it. Anyone who is new to art, new to drawing, I want you to feel just as home here, whether you're watching this in your PJs or drawing along. I'm going to just lay down the structure of, like I said, we're looking up the tree. So we're going to have some branches coming off, but really the main focus is going to be the really colorful fall leaves that surround and the sky. And I hope you enjoy the process. All right, so the basic sketch is down. Like I said, nothing earth-shattering. This is all levels, all abilities. I could have literally just done 2 lines, maybe little sticks off, because the fun part comes, any watercolor crayons will do, any watercolor will do, acrylic will do, but I just know the type of coloring I get, that bright kind of fall color that I just experienced outside on my walk. I hope that wherever you are, you're experiencing your season change. I know that all my lovely folks down in Florida, love you, miss you lots. They are experiencing more sunny, 90-degree, and good for them. So tell me what you've been drawing, what you've been creative with. By no means does it have to be watercolor or crayons or anything to that effect. I like to just throw in some of my lights, especially the colors that I remember most from the walk I just went on. And you're going to see how I take the crayons and the watercolor. Like I said, these are Caran d'Ache, but you can use any of your watercolor medium, even acrylic. I really want to save the tree details for that Graphitin that we're going to use. So I just wanted to come back and talk to you a little bit about Graphitin. So you're talking graphite with a tint of color. These are water soluble, so I am going to be adding water to this, pulling color in, and then going back over it with the Graphitin and with some of the watercolor crayons, really just to add more of that texture and color. So I know how these Neocolor 2 Caran d'Ache, I've used them before, so I'm familiar with when I add water, how much that color is going to spread out and how much of that detail I need to kind of leave if I want to do a gradient of color. I'm laying this base down now, like I said, knowing I'm going to add water and spread the color around. I don't always start with my focal point. A lot of times I will start with a wash in the background. Coming in off of the walk I just had, I was just so inspired by the color. I didn't want to lose it in my mind's eye. So what I'm trying to say is this is more of a sketch than a frameable masterpiece. I would think that start to finish, this is going to take me less than an hour. And that's usually how I look at pieces. Less than an hour, more than an hour. And if it's more than an hour, is it going to be days? Sometimes you just don't want to let a project go. If you are new to creating, new to the art lounge, new to all of this, there are more instruction out there. There's more direction out there, whether it is with the art lounge, with us, or other how-tos, and that is coming. This is more of a doodle. This is how creatives kind of just start and enjoy an inspiration, and it was this particular walk that inspired me. I'm just making sure, so this is going to be tree, or this, I'm sorry, this is going to be more sky, and I'm literally just kind of putting this in. You're going to be able to see some of the line work, so I'm careful to use, am I using the side, am I using the tip? My thought here is that I'm going to fill up the sky closer to the base of that tree and center a lot of those fall foliage colors here. And a lot of what you see here will be covered by beautiful fall inspiration. For the folks who like that kind of pre-plan thumbnail, there is a time and a place for that. Like I said, this is more so just getting my inspiration of my walk out onto the paper. So let's do a little bit more color on the tree, get our fall colors in, which I'm super excited about, and add some water. So for the beginners out there, for folks working on their technique, which I'm always, what I'm doing now is adding some of the shade. So there's shade and there's tint. These are awesome art words and art terms. Shade is the color plus a little black, little darker hue. And I don't want to lose that when I put in all the bright colors. As I was looking up into the trees, you could see the branches more from underneath. And that combination of the tree itself with those bright autumn colors, well, to me, that just means big cozy sweaters. Enjoy it while you can. And I don't want to shock anybody, but that typically means that winter's coming. Leaf shapes to me are at this height, at this angle. Leaf shapes to me looked almost like a star. So let me just make sure I'm in camera. Okay. So really, you can see me kind of do this, right? So I'm not making stars per se, I'm making almost parts of stars, right? So there's a tip of the star, there's another tip. I'm almost doing little triangles, little pyramids, pushing sometimes soft on the side, or hard. And that is going to matter when I add some color, or I'm sorry, add some water. So you might see I am going to add water. I now have yellow next to blue. When I add water, I don't necessarily want to create green. I have orange next to purple. These two colors, when you mix them together, make a lovely brown or also mud, if not done correctly or with precision. And so I don't want you to worry about that. I want you to just be aware of what happens when we mix these two areas together, because we're going to try to keep the yellow and the orange its own. We're going to try to keep the blue away from the yellow. I'm going to show you. We're going to just do that by letting things dry in between. But there will be these moments, these magical moments when we add water. All right, so the fun part. No special brush. This is just a size 12 angle brush. I have a size 6 angle brush, like I said, a size 12, and a 12 dagger. I like the dagger for leaves and to really kind of, I'm sorry, accentuate the leaves, but also the branches themselves. When I first kind of put that water down, I'm going to really aim for big areas. I'm going to use big strokes just to put water, activate my colors, take a look at what I have. The goal here is inspiration. So pick up your supplies. If you are following the rules for Inktober and using ink, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. I'll be there soon, but I had to get this out of the way. If you're new to watercolor, to the graphitin pencils, it doesn't take much. And you can see I keep kind of wetting. I'm sorry, I think I'm off camera. Oh, I might, no. I'm like dabbing the water off. So when I touch my hand, a little puddle, little damp, what do I want to say, drops, okay? So I'm going to just start at the top. I'm aiming for all my dark areas. First. Okay, so here we have it. All my dark areas in the tree itself are wet. What I love about the Caran d'Ache watercolor crayons, and there are others out there that I also enjoy, if you're interested in this medium, there's a lot of great reviews out there. One of the things I love is you can see how hard I pushed with the crayon here, knowing it was going to be dark. If I keep working that area, let me just zoom in a little bit. So if I keep working that bottom of the tree, this is going to continue to dissolve that crayon, but I like the texture. It's a tree. I like it down there. So I'm going to leave some of that. But what I love about these particular watercolor crayons is that they have a lot of movement, meaning I can put a little bit of water and I will get a really light, nice pigment. You can see here, I can put oops, I ran out of water. I can put water here and get a really nice pigment. It's very light. Or I can keep kind of working it and it will just get darker and darker. This is all practice. This is all just, again, doing it, which I hope you're sitting in your jammies doing it. I hope you find time to be creative and do art. Okay, I'm going to give that a second to dry. All right, so you can see that I quickly just went over the sky, and I wanted to point out one thing. The crayons, the watercolor crayons, they're almost scrubbable. Okay, so I was doing it over here. You can almost see some of the crayon marks. If you keep adding that water, those crayon marks really do just kind of disappear. That is one way to try out. That's one of the traits of watercolor crayons. How well you can almost scrub out the crayon marks. I have a favorite, Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2s. Lots of other awesome brands out there, all different price points. And my resource, I usually always go to Lindsay Weidrich. She is an awesome YouTuber, awesome artist, awesome YouTube site. And I will see how she's vetting out some of the products. She always does such a fair review. So I didn't want to list out the colors because, like I said, this was inspiration from my walk today, but I just wanted to show you the array of what I use. So this was really the tree, and it's umber, and it's Van Dyke Brown, and I will be grabbing these to add more detail later. The crimson and the flame red. I'm going to be diving into the tree with crimson, flame red, canary yellow, golden yellow, and I always add indigo blue. Indigo blue is my go-to no matter what the medium is for darker hues, and that was that beautiful darker color. And then these were for the sky, and it's cobalt and cobalt light. So I didn't want to get hung up on the color. This was all just an inspirational piece. I'm going to add a little bit more of the watercolor crayons to the leaves, and then we are going to finish this up with the Grafton pencils. Okay, leaves are filled in, and as you could see when I was laying it down and then adding that water to it, I could continue to scrub and I would just lose some of those awesome texture lines that now have occurred. And remember, we're talking leaves, we're talking an inspirational piece. I'm not going for photorealism. I'm not going for, anything that I'm gonna necessarily keep forever. What is gonna make this kind of come to life are these Derwent graph tints. So I have chestnut, as far as colors go, chestnut, cool brown, autumn brown, and port. Just to glance at the colors in the set, I mean, these are all very autumn, lots of browns, lots of grays. And so I just kind of took the most red, which is the autumn brown, and then a variety of dark, medium, light. And I'm going to add some details into this tree to really emphasize the So I am here. I'm just using a black Stampin' Up marker. I bought these, gosh, eons ago. They have a small tip, more of a brush tip on the other end. I just wanted to add a little bit of detail into some of the areas here of the tree. If you're looking for some sketching tips, so this branch is round, right? The tree itself is round. When I'm adding my highlights, or I'm sorry, when I'm adding my details, I don't necessarily always go in. I do not go in and outline. That's just not my style. Though I do love that style for when other people do it. That is just not how I look at it. A little bit of a tip is if it's round, you don't want to make straight lines that are horizontal and vertical. You want to have your lines curve. You want to have your lines round because that is the shape that you are drawing. Different than, let's say, if I was doing a cityscape, a lot of my lines would be vertical, horizontal, and you want to stick with that. But you really can't force that in a nature scene. Not many things in nature are horizontal, vertical. So I will add a little bit more detail to this, and I will wish you guys good health and happy creating until the next time. Goodbye from the Art Lounge.